Hello there, my name is Triple S, and in this video I'm going to point-by-point review Season 2, Episode 2 of the Fallout TV show. Let's begin. Point number 1. I don't even know where to begin with this opening. I mean, holy cow, 10 out of 10, just amazing. It references back to and answers questions we've had since Season 1. Maximus's dad saying,
"There's even more clean water down there than we thought,"
is in reference to Moldava telling Lucy in Season 1, Episode 8 that Lucy's mother had discovered someone was siphoning the vault's water. And it answers the question of how Hank managed to nuke Shady Sands, with him using the mind control tech to make a guy wheel it into the center of town. And I just love that they incorporated the meme NPC dialogue of,
"Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter,"
as the phrase the guy says repeatedly. I believe a lot of people theorized that since the Brotherhood of Steel seemed to arrive so quickly after the blast, that maybe Hank supplied them with the nuke so that they could drop it onto the town from a vertibird. Now though, I'm wondering if it might be the other way around. Maybe the Brotherhood gave him the nuke. In any case, it is interesting that the nuke shares the same design as the Mark 28s used by Liberty Prime in Fallout 4. Could just be a visual Easter egg though, and not something to read much into. Point number 2. With Maximus's dad telling him to grab his kit and saying it will be safe inside the fridge, that leads me to believe they prepared for the possibility of something like this happening, which means the fridge might not be an ordinary fridge and Maximus's dad actually made it nuke-proof. Point number 3. So this is the second time Kyle MacLachlan has been de-aged, and once again it looks pretty good. The only issue I have with it is his eyeballs look a little weird, but beyond that I have no other complaints. Point number 4. Lucy is older here than when we saw her in the flashbacks throughout Season 1 when she was in Shady Sands with her mum Rose and Moldava. And that's because a number of years have actually passed between Hank taking Lucy and Norm back to the vault and him nuking Shady Sands. Around 6 years in fact. We know this because in the script for the first episode of Season 1, Maximus is said to be 19 years old, making his birth year 2277, and the script also says he is 6 years old in the scenes where he gets out of the fridge after the explosion, which means Shady Sands was destroyed in 2283. Lucy tells Cooper in Season 1 Episode 4 that during the Great Plague of 2277 in Vault 33, people had to quarantine and some starved to death, including her mother, which was, in reality, just an elaborate deception concocted by Hank and possibly other residents from Vault 31, to hide and explain the absence of people, those who left the vault to arrange having the nuke taken to Shady Sands, and the disappearance and death of Lucy's mum Rose. Now you might be confused and wondering why, if Shady Sands was indeed nuked in 2283, why then in Vault 4 in Season 1 Episode 6 does Lucy find a timeline on a blackboard that says the fall of Shady Sands happened in 2277? Well, that's not when it happened, but when it began, as we see it being nuked is a separate event further along the timeline. And it makes sense that the fall is considered to have started in 2277, since that's when Rose arrived at Shady Sands with Lucy and Norm, leading to Hank finding them there, leading to him nuking it years later. And the former Shady Sands residents of Vault 4 knew 2277 was the year Rose arrived at Shady Sands because they know Moldava. They worship her as the Flame Mother and thus incorporated her knowledge into their teachings. Point number 5. Such a cool idea of fans coming out from underground to blow away the accumulated sand to reveal Area 51. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, I mean AR 51. I didn't realise Armorlight was a thing in the Fallout universe. Point number 6. I like how to me Affordable Al's Discount Hospital sounds dystopian, but that's just because I live in the UK and we get free healthcare. The sign also references the new plague, which was mentioned in the very first Fallout game and has been mentioned in later games as well. Point number 7. The big rad scorpion eating a smaller rad scorpion is the same as the trope of the villain killing one of their own henchmen just to show how villainous they are. Change my mind. Point number 8. Oh wow, if Norm really did kill Bud, then forget smiling troublemaker and good-natured rascal, he'd be more like a dark hero. Point number 9. So unless along with there being tons of mice there's also tons of test rooms, Hank's having to clean this tank every single time on top of driving back and forth. And while you might be questioning Hank's efficiency here, driving back and forth with only one mouse instead of thawing out a bunch to bring with him, I know from first-hand experience this is what you do to drag out a simple task as long as possible to waste time whilst also staying busy. Because the moment you're finished, you know you won't get a break, you'll just be given something else to do. And being a working man, This will have been hardwired into Hank's brain so much so that it's now just automatic. Point number 10. Holy treasure trove of Easter eggs, Batman. Besides the obvious frozen Zayton in the icebox, we see what is most likely a Zayton recon craft from Fallout 3 and New Vegas under a sheet, what looks like a Zayton shock baton from Fallout 3, and an alien blaster from Fallout 3, New Vegas, and Fallout Shelter. Along with the alien stuff, we also see a copy of the US Constitution, which I'm sure Abraham Washington would love to get his hands on, as well as the Ark of the Covenant, which I'm sure the Nazis would love to get their hands on. We then also see what looks like the Cryolator from Fallout 4 and Fallout 76, and the Pip-Boy 1.0 from Fallout 4's intro. And later, when the other Brotherhood chapters are arriving, we see a pooping guy reading the Insect Repellent Special from the Wasteland Survival Guide, that you can actually find at the Crater House location in Fallout 4. Point number 11. Grand Canyon Brotherhood? A lot certainly must have changed if the Brotherhood can now set up a chapter at the birthplace of Caesar's Legion. And this whole scene in general really goes to show people were jumping the gun hating on the show because they thought it got the Brotherhood all wrong. Because we're shown here very clearly that chapters can be very different from each other. Quintus's chapter is religious, the Yosemite chapter isn't, the Coronado Brotherhood are misogynistic, and the Grand Canyon Brotherhood don't mind being left alone. Not like we didn't already know chapters can be different from each other, what with Owen Lyons' chapter in Fallout 3, but I digress. Point number 12. A Grand Canyon Brotherhood squire bonked a robot. Happy to hear Fisto's still getting work even after all these years. Point number 13. After the Legion woman said she didn't want to see Lucy annoyed by the wrong people, I really thought Lucy was going to say something like, there are right people to get annoyed by. Point number 14. This Legion woman could not have been an escaped slave, since she seems to have willingly returned to the Legion despite how terribly they treat women. So either she's so hooked on the nuka aid of the Legion that she serves them without question, or maybe she has other reasons for returning, like loved ones the Legion would harm if she did not return or something. Point number 15. I wonder if out of all the Premium Elite Plus people, Hank thought out this particular guy because he abandoned his family. And Hank is taking out his own guilt of killing his wife and abandoning Lucy and Norm on him. Point number 16. I like how the subtle hint that the Maximus from Season 1 we grew to love still exists somewhat with how he stammers talking to Big Beardy. Point number 17. I wonder if the shot of Maximus looking to Quintus here was part of a different take where Big Beardy actually hit Maximus in the mouth. Since in this shot, but not the ones before and after, the inside of Maximus's mouth looks quite red, almost like he's bleeding. Point number 18. Bareback? Goddamn Big Beardy, you know just what to say to get my motor revving. Point number 19. When Big Beardy asks Maximus for a fight and Maximus looks at Quintus, Quintus seems to give an expression of like, sure, why not? Though that was before Big Beardy said they'd be fighting without armor. If Quintus knew that would be the case, would his decision have been different? And the second time Maximus looks at Quintus after Big Beardy pulls out his knife, Quintus has an expression of interest of how this is going to play out. So I wonder if things were flipped and Big Beardy was on top pushing the knife down on Maximus, if Quintus would have stepped in to stop the fight, or would he really have let Maximus die? Point number 20. I really thought the grenade Maximus confiscated during the meeting was going to play a part in this fight, and that he was going to reverse pickpocket it onto Big Beardy. Though we did see Cooper do just that in the last episode when he massacred the Khans, so it would have been a bit repetitious. I guess it will just remain a Chekhov's grenade. For now. Point number 21. I get Dane is regretting their decision to have everyone start chanting All Hail Knight Maximus at the end of Season 1, but their look here of disappointment at what Maximus has become feels a bit out of line to me. Like, what was Maximus supposed to do here to not disappoint you, Dane? Die? Point number 22. I find it funny that in promotional material for Season 2, where we saw this new character played by Camille Nanjiani, so many people thought it was Arthur Maxson because their coats look similar and were mad he'd been race swapped. Those people can now feel extra stupid with this episode confirming his character is actually called Paladin Harkness. Now we just have to wait and see if this Harkness has any relation to Harkness the Synth from Fallout 3. And then people can get mad again about race swapping despite facial reconstruction surgery being a thing in the Fallout world. Point number 23. I'm willing to bet caps on Dane being the one who contacted the Commonwealth Brotherhood, resulting in Harkness showing up. Point number 24. The outro animation for this episode seems to hint at the origin of the Legion's new look, going from Roman outfits in a costume shop to an American football stadium that's been taken over by the Legion, explaining why the Legion outfit now incorporates American football clothing. It's also really got me wondering just how connected the Legion in the show will be to the Legion from New Vegas the game. Are they remnants, an offshoot, or just pretenders? Thank you all everyone for watching. If you enjoyed the video, and I hope you did, give it a like to let me know, And if you want to see more, then make sure to subscribe. Thank you all so much again for watching. I've been Triple S, you've all been amazing, and I shall see you all in the next video.